Okay, for each of g prime of negative 3 and g double prime of negative 3, find the value or state that it does not exist. So just work one at a time. So I've got the formula for g. To find g prime of negative 3, I have to find g prime first. So I have to use this formula from the golden notes. So using that formula, the upper limit here is x, that's the h in the formula. The lower limit is 1, that's the g in the formula. F is f. So the formula says that the derivative of g prime, so g prime of x, is going to equal f of the upper limit, so that's f of x, multiplied by d over dx. We know it's d over dx because we're taking the derivative of g of x. This is an x here, minus the same thing with the lower limit. F of 1 in this case. This becomes 0, therefore all of this becomes 0. This is 1, therefore we find that g prime of x is simply f. So, therefore, g, you don't have to write any of this out right here. Like this line does not have to be written out. If you were to do that in your head, you're fine. I would write on your paper g prime of x is equal to f. That is almost always important for some reason. But then I'm going to take g prime of negative 3. That must equal f of negative 3. I look up here, this is f. So at x equal negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, I'm up here. Looks like that's going to be 2, just to make sure I'm going to count it. So this line goes from 1 to 3, so this line goes up 2, and it also goes over 2. So the slope is 1. So when you start here at x equal, so we start here at y equal 1, and we go over 1 and go up 1, we're going to be at y equal 2. So this is definitely equal to 2. And if you have the blue statement, you get 1 point. Now we need to find g double prime. So, because g prime is equal to f, we can write on our paper that g double prime of x is f prime of x. So g double prime of negative 3 is going to be f prime of negative 3. F prime means the slope of f when x is negative 3. So come back up here. I need to find the slope of f when x is negative 3. I already did that. That line goes over 1, up 1. The slope is 1. So on my paper I write 1. And I get 1 point for that. The reason they said state that it does not exist is if they had asked us to find, say, g double prime of something like right here, 1, G double prime of 1 would be the same thing as F. And I have seen them do this on tests. F prime of 1, you would look up and say the slope of F when x equals 1 cannot be found due to the corner, and so you would say F prime of 1 does not exist. So they didn't ask us for this on this problem, but I know in past years I've always had students ask, don't. I got distracted by the board again. I have had students ask, what do they mean by state that it does not exist? If you had something like that, you would get does not exist. So.